All right, we just finished black commons. Let's go into black uncommons, rares, and mythics. All right, so Bloodsky Berserker. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, put 2 counters on Bloodsky Berserker. It gains menace until end of turn. Ooh, this seems good. I mean, it's not going to be a 3/3 on turn 3. It'll probably be a 3/3 on turn 4, right? A 3/3 menace on turn 4. And then after that, you can probably make it a 5/5. It's a solid 7. Yeah. This is a solid 7. Yeah, if you trigger it twice, it's a 2 and a 5/5, right? Oh. Yeah, I lever number, that is a great comment. It's a 3/3 on turn 4 and a 5/5 on turn 7. I agree. And it has menace on those 2 turns, right? I totally agree with you. That's a really good way to look at it. Good comment. I think even if you top deck it on turn 5 or turn 7, it'll be a 2-mana 3/3, right? Because you can play this and another spell. This will be your first spell and you play a spell afterwards. So I think it's even a fine top deck. Yeah. Broken Clock had to be right. Draughr's Helm. Enters a battlefield, you may pay 2 to black. If you do, create a 2/2 creature token. Okay, so it's a 5 mana 4/4 menace plus. Sure. Okay. No. Equip 4 is a lot. But a 5 mana... Gluttonous Zombie was a 5 mana 3/3 menace that you played. This is a 5 mana 4/4 menace plus. Right? Oh, Gluttonous Zombie was Fear, right? Was it a 5 mana 3/3 Fear? Anyways, I think this is a solid 7 or 8, honestly. I'm a big fan of 4/4 menace plus. It grants menace. Yeah, it grants menace. Oh, yeah, this is probably an 8. It's either a 7 or an 8, right? I mean, if you're playing black, you play this and you're happy, right? So, I think you're really underestimating the granting menace. That's pretty powerful of an ability to have. I think that's pretty powerful. At worst, this is 7.5, right? At worst, we're overestimating by a little bit. But black is pretty desperate, which makes this an 8. How often do you cast this for 2? Never. That's a 5 mana. That's a 5 mana one. I mean, maybe you play it for 6 on turn. You pay 2 and then you equip it for 4 to for lethal, right? I can imagine doing that. Yeah, you cast it for 2 when they're dead. Hailstorm Valkyrie. Wait, a Black Angel. All right. Flying Trample. Hailstorm Valkyrie gets... No. This is bad. Maybe in drafts. In Sealed, you're going to have between 2 and 5 lands in your deck, and you're going to have between 1 and 3 in play. It's just not going to happen. No. If this costs 3 mana, I'm on board. At 4 mana, no. Not happening. Not happening. Poison the Cup. Destroy target creature. If the spell was foretold, scry 2. Murder plus? Murder plus plus plus? Murder plus plus plus. Okay. Strictly better murder. Price of Fame? Yeah, it is basically Price of Fame, isn't it? Strix Familiar. It's not strictly better than Price of Fame. Price of Fame might have actually been better, because it was Surveil 2, right? Oops. This spell costs 2 less to cast. Yeah, destroy. It was Surveil 2. Yeah, it's worse than Price of Fame, but Price of Fame was really good. So, oh, you can splash this. You could totally splash this. Yeah, this is a great card to play on turn 6. Oh yeah, this is a solid 8.5, 8.5 to 9. I'll call it a 9. It's on the level of the draw 2, scry 2 from blue, right? It's a 9. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. If it's an elf, create 2 1/1 green elf warrior creature tokens. Zombify plus. Is this better than Rise from the Grave? This looks like a 6 or a 7 to me. I'll call it a 6. This could be an 8 in the right deck. We haven't seen green yet. This might be an 8 in a green-black deck. I'll call it a 7 for now. The thing is, elves are generally pretty small, right? But even if you get like a 3-1 back, a 3-1 and 2-1-1s for 5 mana, that's a good deal. That's a good deal. As long as the elf you're getting back has 3 power, you're getting back 5 power over 3 bodies for 5 mana. Potentially 4 if you can a black hole 2. And you don't have to target an elf. You can target anything, right? Yeah. This is either a 6 or a 7. It's like a 6.5. It's like there a 6 or an 8, right? I'll just call it a 7. Take the average. But it's an 8 in the right deck. It's a 6 everywhere else. So, Rune of Mortality. Oh, there's changelings. You're right. There are changelings. This does get better that there are changelings. No, you're right. You're totally right. Rune of Mortality. Enters the battlefield, draw a card. As long as enchanted permanent is a creature and has death touch. Okay. You know, we haven't gone to red yet. I'm assuming that red has a pinger. Right? I'm gonna assume that red has a pinger, and that's GG. I'm going to assume it. We're gonna make this a 7. Because if there's a pinger, then if a pinger has death touch, like a deal 1 damage to target creature or player, then you just ding. Yeah. I have a feeling this is gonna be great. The fail case is just cycling on your land. I'm on board with that too. I'm on board. Yeah, cycling on these things is so good. Yeah. I'm on board. I like it. This is I think this might be better than... There was like a 4 mana 3/3 with mutate, like 2 and a black, right? For death touch. I think this is better than that. And I played that card like a vast majority of the time. So 4 mana 2/5. When Schemar Shadow Sage enters the battlefield, choose one. Each opponent loses X life, where X is the greatest number of creatures you control that have a creature. Okay, so if you have like two elves and 3 clerics, they're gonna lose 3. Okay, and then you gain X life. Wait, no, you have to choose one. Okay, you gain X life, where X is the greatest number of creatures you control that. Okay, no, this is not Great Merchant of Ass. This is not Gary. Okay, no, I see what you're saying. You get back. Return the Tide, it gives you 2 elves, right? I gotcha. You say elf. It's not Gary, dude. This is a draft card at best. This is... I mean, 4 mana 2/5, gain 1, or they lose 1. Like, 4 mana 2/5, they lose 2 is like, that's not embarrassing. I think this is either this is either a 6 or a 7. Yeah, this is Wishcoin Crab in black. But also either gains a life or make them lose life. Yeah. Yeah. Solid. Yeah. Solid 6. I mean, you're going to play this, so you're not going to be happy about it. Yeah, it can't be less than 6, because you're going to main deck this card. You're not going to be happy about it, but you'll play it. Tergorid Shadow. Each player sacrifices 2 creatures. Instant? Ew, this is a 9. It's the 8 or 9, right? Butter and Blood was a bananas card. Now, this is not as good as Butter and Blood. I don't think it is. Think it's better? I think it's worse. Not being able to cast this on turn 4, I think is worse. But I mean, I guess you can. You can just foretell, and they go 2-drop, 3-drop. You foretell, and then like you don't play a creature. You like foretell again, and then you cast it on turn 4. Oh, you can like EOT it on their turn 4. Oh. Okay, yeah. You can like end a turn it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is a 9. Even if it's not a 9, it's an 8 at work. The floor is 8 on this. Yeah, the floor is 8. It's probably a 9. It's not a bomb. It's not a 10. Not even close. It's at least an 8. Like 8.6, 8.7. We'll call it a 9. Vengeful Reaper. Wait. Oh, this isn't a Slash Foretell card, so that's something. Double black. Yeah, you played Dead Drop? Yeah. Flying... Wait, what? Flying Death Touch Haste? What? That's at least a 7. It's at least a 7. I'm not sure this is better than... Is this better than the Phantom Monster? It isn't, right? Is it? It might be. Alright. We'll call it an 8. I don't think it is, though. That is a cool artwork, though. Stonheim is closed to you, coward. Hey, I'm a warrior, buddy. I'm not a coward. Don't do that to me. Blood on the Snow. Destroy all creatures, destroy all planes. Oh, no, choose one. Destroy all creatures or destroy all planeswalkers. Then, return a creature or planeswalker card. Convert mana to X or less from your graveyard to the battlefields. So it costs more than 3. So it costs 6. So you're going to have between 1 and 3 snowlands in play for this, right? I'm going to call this maybe a 6. 6 mana rats are PU.
He is sticky.
I don't even play 4 mana rats. So yeah, I'm gonna give this a 5. I'm gonna give this a 5. Here's the problem: is in Sealed, it's so often dominated by blue, and it's so often dominated by card draw and counter spells. Like 6 mana is way too much for this to have to like set up, and it may not even work, right? So I don't like the second part. Is probably not even gonna work. So it's just like 6 mana destroy all creatures. This is just sideboard. Solid sideboard. Crippling Fear. Choose a creature type. Creatures that aren't of the chosen type. Oh. I mean, you could choose like ham sandwich, brushwag. You can choose brushwag, right? If you just want all creatures to get -3/-3. So Crippling Fear is way better than Blood on the Snow. Oh, changelings are immune. I think this is still a solid 8. Because the odds are you're not going to hit, like, if you have a creature in play, you have one creature, your opponent has 2 or 3, you can just make sure yours doesn't die and theirs do. Because you can say elves or clerics, right? Or, like, whatever doesn't match up properly. I think this is a solid 8. Yeah, it's either 7 or a 9. We'll call it an 8. This is, like, a Ritual of Soot, right? Ritual of Soot was a solid 8. Ritual of Soot was 2 black. Destroy all creatures that cover mana cost 3 or less, right? That's kind of what this is. So, and that was a solid 8. This is a solid 8. Draugr Necromancer. If a non-token creature an opponent controls would die, exile that card with an ice counter instead. You may cast spells from among cards in exile your opponent's own with ice counters on them, and you may spend mana from snow sources. Well, this card's great. So you do have to pay their mana. Like if the card that dies costs 3 colors and a green, you do have to pay 3 colors and a green to play it, but you can pay 3 swamps and a snow-covered island to play it. Yeah, I'm on board with this. The floor is 4/4. That if an opponent's creature would die, exile it. Right? That's the floor. Yeah. That's a pretty high floor. Yeah, you don't even have to have a snow card. That's exactly right. If your opponent shares one of your colors, you don't even need a snow card. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. If this guy dies, then your opponent's icy corpses are just icy forever, right? But you can rebuy this guy and replay it, right? So there's Raised Deads in black. There's like a Zombify and a Raised Dead in black. I'm on board. Dream Devourer. Each non-land card in your hand without Foretell has Foretell. Its Foretell cost is equal to its mana cost reduced by 2. Okay, imagine I foretell a 5 mana 5/5 and then this guy dies. Is it 3 mana to play my 5 mana 5/5? Okay. So the Foretell card, it's like independent of its cost. Like independent of this guy living, that's what happens. No, this is not an 8. This is a 6 or a 7. I think it's either a 6 or a 7. It is a 7? Dude, it's like a 2 mana 2/3. Come on. Yeah, not every deck is going to play this. I don't even know what deck would play this. Nah, dude. This is a 6 at best. This is either a 5 or a 6. This is... I should say a 4 or a 6. Nah. What sort of black deck doesn't play this? A blue-black deck wouldn't play this. Neither would a black one. Why would... I don't... You have to foretell instead of playing cards. No. It's not mana advantage. You have to pay... If it costs 5, you have to pay 5. 2 plus 3 is still 5. Dude, I'm not... No. 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 It doesn't... Yeah, it doesn't save mana. Yeah, the card has to not have foretell already, right? Yeah, okay. If it was a 1-3, I'm on board. Right? It's a 7 or an 8 if it's a 1-3. It's an 0-3. It's going to be 4 power 1 time. Maybe twice. It's going to be like 4 power once and 2 power once, right? Come on. No way. No. And you have to tap out during your main phase for this. No. No. The first half. Morphing the spell is the foretell. It's your turn on sorcery? I mean, whatever. Egon, God of Death. Death Touch... Uh-oh. It's Death Touch 6/6. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile 2 cards... Oh. You had me going. No. You do draw a card. At the beginning of your upkeep, mill a card. Exile a creature card from your graveyard, draw a card. You have to pay 7 mana to draw 2. And this has deck damage. I don't know. Dude, I don't know about deck damage. That's... I don't know about deck damage. It's deck damage both ways. Because not only do you mill one on your upkeep, mandatory, but whenever you draw cards, that's more deck damage. Imagine if you want to draw 4 cards with this. That's 13 mana. I think this is worse than Witch's Cauldron. I think Witch's Cauldron was bad. Not Witch's Cauldron. Whatever's in the last core set, right? M21? Oh, actually, it was in the last... Wasn't there a card that was like... 1 mana, pay 2 mana, tap, sack a creature, gain a life, draw a card, right? And that card sucked. The card was wildly unplayable. I think that card's better than this. Yeah, we'll call it a 6. The thing is, if it's a 6, are you going to play it if you're black? Are you always running this card? I guess you are. I guess you are. I find it pretty hard to believe that you would be playing black and not playing this card. Okay. I'm scared of the deck damage. But that's a lot of deck damage. Rise of the Dread Marn. Create X 2/2 black zombie berserker creature tokens, where X is the number of non-token creatures that died this turn. Okay, so this is like 1 mana, make 4 2/2s, right? 3 or 4 2/2s. This is like an 8 or a 9. Because it counts both yours and your opponent's. So like if there's just like your opponent attacks and you make a bunch of blocks and a bunch of creatures die, you just go like, this feels like an 8. You always play it. This might be closer to a 7. Although I guess like even just like, I feel like the baseline for this is 3 mana, make a pair of 2/2s. Because like creatures are just going to trade, right? They're just going to trade. I think this is a reasonable floor for this to be a 3 mana, make a pair of 2/2s. And the ceiling is way higher than that. So I think it's a solid 8. Yeah, instant makes it fine, sure. Yeah, double blocking is really good with this, I agree. Because you'll get 3 2/2s after the birds. Oh. Skemfar Avenger. Whenever another non-token elf or berserker you control dies, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. Non-token. Yeah, it doesn't count itself like Midnight Reaper does. Yeah. If it was Midnight Reaper, it would be a 9, right? 8 or 9. Because it costs 2 mana. But it doesn't, it's not. It's not. This is probably a 7. I mean, you're always going to play it if you're black. Yeah. A floor is 7. I think it's closer to a 7.5 than an 8. Let's call it a 7. Turgrid, God of Frights. 5 mana, 4/5 menace. I'm on board. Whenever an opponent sacrifices a non-token permanent or discards a permanent card, you may put that card from a graveyard... Wait, what? Onto the battlefield under your control. Okay. Sure. I mean, you would just play a 5 mana, 4/5 menace. That also has just random text that wins you the game, right? So... random text that you just win if it happens. Yeah, there's like the Barter and Blood, right? There's the this thing, just Triggered Shadow. You just win if it happens, right? Target player loses 3 life unless they sacrifice a non-land permanent. What? What? Is this a 10? This is Torment of Scarabs, but this is Torment of Scarabs with... Wait, do Torment of Scarabs have haste? Yeah, it does have haste. Because it's the beginning of your opponent's upkeep. Yeah, it was basically haste. This is a little bit better haste. But it's haste with like murder. With like 8 mana, you're dead. Right? Like, you just play this on 4, and then you get to 8 mana, and your opponent, and they're dead. They just lose. Yeah, this is a 10. Yeah, why would you ever play the front side of these cards? What's up with that? Oh yeah, because if you have Turgid in play and you activate Turgid's Lantern, you just get it. It's like mine. All right. Yeah. I mean, the front side's like an 8, right? And the back side's like a 10. Yeah. Okay. Well. Varagoth, Bloodsky Sire, Death Touch, Boast. Target player searches their library for a card, then shuffles their library and puts it on top. This is good. This is not a 10. This is like a 9, right? This is a 9. Target player... No, it's target player searches, right? So if you target them, then they search for a card and put it on top. No, this is a 9. Solid 9. There's like... There's like no downside to this, right? Is it like your opponent trades with it, then you're like, okay, I'll vamp. Search my library for a card and put it on top. Sure. That's a price I'm willing to pay. I'll play 2 mana and not a card and not 2 life to Vampire Tutor. Oh yeah. Varagoth, you attack, you target them, and then you mill them, right? You're like, nice one, idiot. Nice play. Alright. Burning Rune Demon. Flying. When Burning Rune Demon enters the battlefield, you may search your library for exactly 2 cards, not named Burning Rune Demon, and have different names. If you do, reveal those cards. An opponent chooses one of them. Put the card into your hand. Wait. And the other into your graveyard. Wait. This was Rune... Wasn't this Rune Scarred Demon? Wait a minute. Yeah. Oh, Runescar Demon was a 7 mana 6/6 flyer that just put any card from your deck into your hand. This is a 6 mana 6/6. So it's a 6 mana 6/6, and I show you like a Terminate. I show you like a Terminate and like a 5/5 or something, or two Terminates or a Terminate and a 5/5, and you give me one of them. This is a 9. It's not a bomb. Oh, it is a May trigger. That's a good point. The deck damage is real. It's a bomb, but it's not on the level of this. It's not on this level, and it's not on the other the other 10s that we've had. It's not. It's a 9, right? It costs 6, which is a big downside, and it doesn't have a defensive ability. So it's not like insane. If you're black, you always play it, obviously, but it's not like, hey, this is like, win me the game. It's a 6/6 that draws a card. I mean, it's 6 mana 6/6 flying draw card is good. Don't get me wrong, but yeah. The one to graveyard is it's not value. It's not. Yeah, you can't really splash for it, and it's not value because you're diluting your deck by taking out one of your best cards, right? Like taking your second or third best card out of your deck is a cost that you can't draw. It's closer. I think it's actually closer to an 8 because it costs 6 mana. But I think it's an 8.5. Or I think it's closer to 8.5 than 9. I'll call it 8.5. It costing 6 and not having a defense ability is just whatever. Eradicator Valkyrie. Look, Vengeful Reaper. If you call a Vengeful Reaper a solid 8, which I don't even agree with, obviously it's better than Vengeful Reaper. So it has, like, I don't think this is an 8. I think this is a 7.5. This is a 7.5. Screw you guys. Eradicator Valkyrie. Flying Lifelink. Hexproof from Planeswalkers. Boost. Sack a creature. Each opponent. Now this is a 9. This is way better than Burning Rune Demon. It's not... Okay, Burning Rune Demon's an 8. And Vengeful Reaper is a 7. And this is a solid 9. This is not a 10. This is not Turgrid. It's not this. But it is really good. Because it has a defense ability and a lock ability, and it costs 4 mana. That is a 9. Yeah, if it had hexproof, it would be a 10, obviously. This is a solid 9. Because at the end of the day, it does just die, right? It does, but it does pay you. This fellow pays you a lot. No, I mean, at the end of the day, this is just a creature that can die. If you play this and your opponent like terminates it, you're like, okay. It dies a Doomblade. I don't think cards that die to Doomblade can belong into the above 9 category. I don't know why this is a Berserker either. So I will draw a card off this card I have in play. Technically it doesn't die to Doomblade. You got me. Haunting Voyage. Choose a creature type. Return up to 2 creature cards of that type from your graveyard to the battlefield. If the spell was foretold, return all. Wait. Okay. So there was that party card, right? Wasn't there a party card that was like 6 mana, return 2 creatures? Like return 1 and Thwart the Grave? Yeah, that card was a bomb. Yeah, the reduced cost on Thwart the Grave was really good. I'll agree to that. This is... Yeah. No, Thwart was 4 black, right? That was a bomb. Yeah, this spell costs 1 less for each party member. Return target creature and a cleric, rogue, warrior, or wizard. Yeah. Yeah, Foretell is more expensive here. That's a lot. I'm gonna call this... I think I'm gonna call this a 7. I think it's closer to 6 than 7, but I'll call it a 7. Just because... The thing is, 6 mana rebuy 2 creatures is like not a great deal. Thwart the Grave costs 4 or 5 a vast majority of the time. I think 6 is really expensive for this effect. I'm gonna call it a solid 7. Solid 7. Final answer. I'll go with Ever After. Ever After was okay. I mean, you always played it. The problem, yeah, you're right. It is very close to Ever After, but it's conditional to Ever After, right? Because they have to share a creature type. So that's why I think it's closer to a 7 than an 8, because Ever After I think was closer to an 8. I think this card's worse than Ever After. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a little bit less than 7. Because you're not always gonna play it. So we'll call it a 6.5. I think you're right. Final answer. Yeah, it has a lower floor, a higher ceiling, right? Valky. Okay. Alright. Alright. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent reveals their hand. For each opponent, exile a creature card they revealed this way until it leaves the battlefield. X, choose a creature card exiled from Valky with a cost X and becomes a copy of that card. Okay, so it's like a 2/1 Mind Maggot, right? That can hit creatures. And it can turn into whatever you take. Alright. Great against Arrow? Great. Yeah. Alright. To be clear, you would play this card even if you had no red mana. As T-Bolt enters the battlefield, you get an emblem with you may play cards exile with T-Bolt, Cosmic Imposter, as though or mana of any color. Okay. Sure. Exile the top card of each player's library. Sure. So the joke is, even if T-Bolt dies, you still get to play the exiled cards for the rest of the game? Okay. So that's why they had to make an emblem, so that No matter what, you always do it. Okay. So +2, draw 2. And deck damage. -3, exile target artifact or creature. And it's a lot like, it reminds me a lot of the Nicol Bolas, right? Because Nicol Bolas was like gain control of a creature if you minused it, right? And this is similar because you can cast the creature with the emblem. Oh yeah, you can take lands off it. That's a good point. Well, it's not... Okay, so here's the issue. Here's the issue. If my understanding is correct... Is my understanding correct? If you were to put this into play, can you put it into play as a T-Vault or no? That's a question I have. If I unearth Valky, God of Lies, or if I Blood in the Snow, the God of Lies, can it come into play as the Planeswalker? No. Okay. Well, is there any way... Oh, Cascade, right? You can Cascade into it, that's the joke? Yeah, okay, you can Bloodbraid Elf into it. Okay. Got it. You can, yeah, and it's good against Uro, right? Because if you take Uro, you can pay 3 mana to become Uro and attack and gain 3 life and put a land into play, right? So it's like anti-Uro, and if you Bloodbraid Elf into it, then you just spike it, right? Yeah. Oh, it's not named Valky, so if you have multiple Valkys, you can like pay 2, become a creature, like take a creature, become that creature, then play another one. I mean, it's not gonna come up in sealed. But isn't Ura banned almost everywhere? Only in standard, right? I mean, people expect Ura to be banned everywhere because the price of it has fallen greatly in preparation for a ban, but I don't think they're going to ban it. So if they do ban it, it's going to be in March. But regardless of that, let's not talk about banning. We're talking about Kaldheim, the new set. Yeah. So this is like a solid 8, right? It's like solid 8.5. 8.5 to 9. But at the end of the day, like, it is a heavily glorified Mind Maggot, right? Which was, I mean, Mind Maggot is a card you played, but I don't know. You have to be able to. I mean, the thing is, Brain Maggot can hit anything. This can't even hit like It's only hit creatures. Yeah. I don't know, dude. This is an 8. Is it better than Burning Rune Demon? I'm not sure it is. I don't think it's better than this. Well, you have to be having red mana. I mean, the thing is, Vraska was a bomb. Although this is worse than Vraska, right? 4 black-green Vraska. Like, Vraska was a 10. This is worse than Vraska, right? Would you play a random mountain for this? I would play a random snow mountain for this, right? Which Vraska? 4 black-green that, like, you can plus it to make a 2/2 menace. You can minus it to destroy a creature or artifact, right? And make a treasure. Is that what it was? Relic Seeker? Yeah. Artifact, creature, or enchantment. Create a treasure token. -10, target player's life total becomes 1. That card was a 10. This card is worse than that, right? So, by a lot. I feel like it's worse than it by a lot. I think it's I don't think it's better than Burning Rune Demon. I don't think it is. 7 mana is a lot for a black-red deck to come up with. I think that it being a flip card makes it an 8, Blaze. I think if it was just this, it would probably be a 7. But I think the fact that it can be both, it has to be an 8. But yeah, that's black for us. This is really... I don't like this card, but... And this is the card I think we were most divergent on. I think this card's bad. I'm willing to play with it to see if I'm right, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. I think this card's bad. You're right that I misspoke when I evaluated the card. It is not sorcery speed. Foretell is during your turn. So like you can attack with the O3, and if they block, then you can choose to foretell them. You don't have to foretell then attack. I agree. But still, I don't think this card's good. If it had 1 power, I'd be all over it, but it doesn't, so I think it's bad. I put it as a 4. I think this is a solid 7. I don't think this card's better than 4 mana 3/3 flyer. From blue, that's a common. I don't think this card's better than that. The thing is, even if this card was just one snow for +1/+1, it would still be bad. It is not a flying shade at all. It has some solid cards, but the commons are so bad. Commons in black are heinous. You're just not happy to see any of them. If you're playing black, it's because you have uncommons and rares and mythics. The black commons are really bad. Like bad. Bad, 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 bad. Maybe. I mean, it's whatever. To terminate. Bad. Whatever. Whatever. This card's pretty decent, but whatever. Right, bad. Like, unspeakably bad. Sure. Like, there's just nothing. There's just nothing like, what black comment am I going to open? I'm like, oh man, this is great. Like, not Phoenix Service, I mean, a terminate's a terminate, it's whatever. There's like there's no stab wound, right? Like, stab wound was like the 2 and a black common that is like, enchanted creature gets -2/-2, and the creature's upkeep, they lose 2 life. Like, bam, I open 3 of these, I am set. Like, black, that's the black common, like, hell yeah. I open this is where I want to be. There is no black common is like, oh yeah, I'm in. Like, there's nothing. There's no reason. There isn't a card that's like, I want to be black. You know, there's a comment like that in the whole set? Yes, there is. There's a ton of blue ones. Were you here during the blue ones? Look. Bam. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I'm in. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's whatever. Oh yeah. All right, there's like 3. There's like 3.5, 4. It's just basically Augury Raven and Bergstrider and Behold the Multiverse. To an extent, Bind the Monster. The rest of them are whatever. You're right. Blue only has a couple. It's like 4.5 maybe. Well, black just has 0, which is, I mean, 0 is a lot less than 4.5. Well, that's gonna be it for black. Black commons. Let's see. Black commons, uncommons, rares, and mythics. Let's see what other colors have for us.